All right, the good news is we're almost at the end of this PowerPoint. This is a long PowerPoint. The other good news is if you haven't looked at the other PowerPoint for week 1, it is very short, like 8 slides long. Okay, so let's hang in there. We're going to talk about remainders briefly. Okay, now for division, you saw a couple slides ago that you could use your calculator. We aren't going to go through the process of long division in this course. I know some of you are probably like, yes, no long division. But it is important that we understand the concept of remainders. Okay, so if I divide this on my calculator, right, I'm going to get 6,341 divided by 7. I'm going to get 905, and then I'm going to get some decimal place, right? I'm going to get a decimal place. I believe the decimal place is like, well, let's find out what it is. Just a second here. Okay, I said we could use the calculator. It's going to be 0.857, and it's going to continue, right? 0.857, 571, and it keeps going, okay? Now, the question is, the reality is, if I divide 6,341 by 7, I'm going to get 905, and I'm going to have something left over, okay? So how do you find out what that is? Well, you take 0.8571 and continued, whatever it is, and you multiply that by 7. And since we're using our calculators, feel free to just put it into your calculator and multiply it by 7. And what you're going to see is that equals 6. So our remainder is 6, right? And why is it important to find a remainder that's not just a decimal place? Well, let's say we had 6,341 something come in a package, not needles is about syringes. Let's go with syringes in a package, right? We divide it by 7 because we need them in groups of 7. We can get 905 groups of 7, but we're going to have some left over. And we'd also like to know, because for accountability purposes, what do we have left over? When we do the division, we get 905.871, but how many is 0.871 in actual syringes? So we do this little calculation, we multiply by 7 because that's the same thing we were dividing by, and we find out that we'll have 6 left over. So we could be able to make 905 packages in groups of 7, and we would have 6 left over. And that's what the concept of a remainder is. If you do long division and you like long division, okay, and I'm going to show it quickly, but you don't need it for the course. There won't be any long division questions on the test or on the assignments, okay? But you could, just for going back to your high school days, you could see it like this, right? Well, 7 goes into 6. No, it doesn't. 7 goes into 63. Yes, it does. It goes in 9 times. Let's get the red out here. It goes in 9 times. So 9 times 7 is 63 with 0 left over, but I need to bring down the 4. Remember that concept? Okay. Now 7 goes into 4. No, it doesn't. It goes in 0 times. So we have to put the 0 there. 0 times 7 is 0. When we do that subtraction, we still have 4. We bring down the 1. 41. 7 goes into 41. Yes, it does. It goes in 5 times. Okay? Of course it does, because we already know what the answer is, right? So 5 times 7 is 35, and 41 minus 35 is 6. There's nothing left to bring down, so 6 is our remainder, right? So that's how you get it if you had to do it without a calculator. 6 is our remainder. Quick way to do it with a calculator is the way I showed you. Again, you will not need to do long division without a calculator, but that's how we did it. You remember when we were in high school or whatever, that's how we did do it. But that's why remainder becomes important. One more slide to go.